Hello, beautiful people. How are you? The computer actually told me that it was the connection was poor. Hello, hello, hello. You know who I am. I'm Donnie, and I promised that I would come on and give you guys the 9 steps to having a heart to heart. I wanted you to. I want you to be successful in your relationships. That's really what I want out of all that I'm doing is be successful in your relationships. And I find that communication, you've heard it multiple times, communication is the key. And one of the things I say is communication is a link to others. And once you communicate with yourself and with others, you have a choice to make a change. And once you do that, that permits you to connect, have compassion and consistency in your life. And so you can live a better life. So communication ties all that together. And I'm doing this because I want some people to really change their relationships with their parents, with their children, with their loved ones, their spouse, their significant other, and more importantly, I want them to change it with themselves. So let's go over the 9 steps. The 9 steps, I'm going to give them to you and then we'll go over them. The first one is leave your home. The second one is space. You have to come from a place that you're open to receive. You also have to come from a place where there's no right or wrong. You're just having this conversation. The 4th is no profanity. The 5 is your tone and your voice. The 6 is listen. 7 is acknowledge the other. 8 is don't take it personally. And 9 is accountability. So let's go over each one of those. Now, before I do that, I need you to understand something. If you decide what I call Thor, now Thor is nothing more than coming with trust, honesty, open-mindedness, and respect. If you do this, if you come with those to your heart to heart, you're going to trust, you're going to come with honesty, open-mindedness, and respect. A lot of times this will be the first time a lot of people have done this. And if you haven't had that type of relationship before, I'm going to be honest, your feelings are going to get hurt. The first time that we did it, there was things about our relationship that we thought were better than they were, but they weren't. We didn't know the other person was feeling a certain way. And hey, Con, how are you? I miss seeing you at Starbucks. Oh my God, I miss you so much. I miss your smile. I miss that energy you used to give me. Thank you for joining. And so I wanted to let you know that if you do decide to have these conversations, again, your feelings will be hurt, because a lot of times what we've done is we haven't expressed how we truly feel about the relationship and how we truly feel about each other. We've lack of a better word, we have punked out. We have not been truthful to each other. We're not giving each other the truth about how we feel about each other. So the first thing is, I recommend you that you leave your home. You should leave your home. Right now I'm in Railroad Park in Birmingham, Alabama, and if you leave your home, that way you won't get distracted. Also, if you go like to an open area, to a park, you may not have to use loud voices or profanity or anything like that. It gives you almost like a safe space to be in. So I do recommend that you leave your home. And since you are scheduling this, to be honest with you, you should be scheduling meetings with your family and your loved ones, especially your children and your husband, once a month. We used to have family meetings. My son has moved out, so we don't really have them as often as we used to, but we used to have family meetings because we needed to find out where everybody was. You know, if someone was feeling, because this is my thing when it came to my children. I didn't want them to be 40 years old in the rock on the sideline saying, I wish my mama did this to me, mama did that to me. So I've always wanted them to be open to tell me how they felt about whatever I was doing. That way that they can progress while they're young, and when they're 40 years old, they're not looking at themselves and me crazy because they didn't deal with situations. So I think you really should meet once a month. You schedule the time. And what I did with my kids were, all they had to say is they wanted to talk free and freely. If they wanted to talk freely, I didn't care what words they used, because sometimes, as my son said, the F word just says it right away and it's over. So just allow them the space to be able to speak. And that's where the second one is, space. It's not all about you. And it's not all about them. It's about both of you. And that takes a lot of space to hold two people in. And you gotta let it be big enough that you can say what you need to say and not feel threatened and not feel that there will be repercussions or something bad done to you because you expressed yourself. With that said, you need to also not come from right or wrong. Just because you don't believe it to be true doesn't mean it's not true to that other individual. Don't make everything about right or wrong. See, when you do right or wrong, what you've done is you've taken away the right for the other person to be who they are. You know, you're saying, well, no, that doesn't make sense. That's wrong. Why can't it just be what it is? That's how they feel. So don't come from right or wrong in your conversation when you're having this meeting, this heart to heart. And profanity, if profanity is your choice, okay. But a lot of times it is offensive to other people. So don't use profanity. And if you do, please apologize. Watch your tone in your voice. Don't come aggressive. Don't come ready to defend yourself. See how that is, the space. Open it up so that person can be able to talk. Watch the way you're talking to them. Watch your voice. Watch your tone. Don't be condescending. Don't be trying to belittle someone because it's not your truth. Come listening. That's the sixth one. Listen. Listen to what they're saying. As I stated before, it may not be your truth, but it's their truth. And if you want your relationship to last, you have to hear what they have to say. It has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. It's all of you. It's bigger than you. That's the whole purpose of life. It's bigger than us, and we think it's all about us, but it's bigger than us. And then I need you to acknowledge the other person. And when you acknowledge the other person, you're coming from love. You're able to have that empathy. You're able to, if you don't understand, ask them. Okay, repeat what they're saying to you so you can maybe, is that what you're saying to me? This is what I hear you saying. I hear you saying. Not the way, oh, you make me feel this way. Come from I. I feel this way. I feel this way. Not you make me feel. No one can make you feel any way. You teach people how to treat you, first and foremost. So if you're not teaching them and setting your boundaries and they're continuing to do something, continuously doing something to you, that is your fault. Because you have the right to say no. And that's the thing. The greatest gift we were ever given was choice. And we act like we don't even have a choice in life. We play play small. That's what we actually do. But you have a choice. You do not have to put up with that. But you say, well, what you're going to lose? What are you gaining? And who said you were losing anything? Compared to what? What are you comparing it to? So acknowledge the other person and don't take it personally. We take so many things personally because they think we're being attacked. But if you could just come from love and understanding, respect, just to trust. You trust that this person is not trying to hurt you. You know they're being honest with you. They're not lying to you. You're open-minded. You have to be open to what they're saying because it's their truth. It's how they're feeling based on their experiences, based on their choices. And then respect that. Respect what they're saying. That's why you don't take it personal, because that's what they feel like. You may not feel like that. For example, they're saying that you weren't there. You said you were going to be there for me and you weren't there for me. And you're like, well, I thought I was there. And they're saying, well, you weren't there the way I needed you to be. Then ask them, well, what did you need from me? And that's what we don't do. We don't say, this is what I need. Can you give me this? I'm going to tell you, year 19. This is the year my husband and I were going to get a divorce. We actually took our kids out for pizza. They make fun of us because they said, I cannot believe you took us out to eat pizza and you're going to tell us you guys are going to get a divorce. Well, what we did was year 19, we had a thorough conversation. We went to the park. We had the space open enough that we didn't come from right or wrong, no profanity. The tone and the voice were right. We listened to each other. We acknowledged each other. We didn't take anything personal. And then the accountability, that's the last one. But what happened was we set guidelines. We set a deadline. And we said, if we're not here, both of us, I said, first and foremost, we got our own crap to deal with. I said, you got your crap to deal with and I have my crap to deal with. And until we deal with our own crap, we're not going to make this marriage work. So we have a year to get our crap together. Even if that means you go to counseling, or I go to counseling, whatever we need to do to make this better, then that's what we need to do. And we gave ourselves a year, and we came back, and here we are at year 24. What I'm saying to you is you're going to have to set guidelines, and you're going to have to stick with those guidelines and not be so afraid to lose something. And that's another thing. People are so afraid to have the conversation because first they think they're going to lose something. They think they're going to hurt somebody's feelings. They think that they're going to be thought of as some bitch or something's wrong with them. But if you're telling someone what you desire in this life and they're looking at you like, I don't give a shit, then you really need to consider if that's the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Because they're not willing to give you what you believe you need in your relationship, then you may not need to be with them. Good example, before I got married, I was single. Well, of course, I was single before I got married. But anyway, I was dating this guy. I was in the military, and I was dating this guy, and I was in love with this guy. And we would go, go places, and I noticed he would not be affectionate with me in public. It's like, no, this is not acceptable. And I asked him about it. He said, well, I don't do that. What you mean you don't do that? He said, well, I'm not affectionate in public. I just choose not to do that. And I said, well, that's something that I like, and that's something that I want. Now, mind you, I'm in my, about 21, 22. He said, well, I can't give you that. Okay. I said, well, then I can't be with you. And he looked at me. I said, I can't accept that. So he left. 24 hours later, what do you think I'm feeling? I'm feeling like I made a mistake. I need, I got to call him because, I want to be with him. I mean, what am I thinking? I'm about to give up this? I wasn't giving up anything. And I remember what my aunt said to me. She said, remember the reason why you left and don't look back. And the reason why I left was because he wasn't willing to give me what I needed. And if I would have stayed with him, who would say I would have 2 beautiful children and a 24-year marriage? You have to make the decision. So I didn't call him. And here I am right now because I made that tough decision. Yes, it hurt. It's supposed to. I was disappointed. I didn't get what I wanted. But see, we don't want to live with that pain. And pain and disappointment is part of being human. Part of being human. See, when you come from spirit, what you understand, it is part of it, but you snap back faster because you realize it's just part of it. I don't have to deal with all this for long. This is just part of it, and you change your perspective and you move on. The last one is accountability. Be accountable for the role you play in this. It's not all about the other person doing something to you. You got to look at what you've done. When that person we talked about earlier, you said that person wasn't there for you and you said they were going to be. Okay, what role did you play in that? Did you remind them? Did you tell them that they weren't, remind them of the date, and then if they weren't there, you called to find out what was going on? Or did you just let it be what it was and so you can complain about it later? Take your responsibility or accountability. Be responsible in the relationship too. What are you doing? One of the things I want to tell you about, and this really just eats me up when it comes to relationships, and I've had 5 people in a month tell me that their spouse or significant other has either cheated on them or has lied to them, or both. When it comes to cheating, first and foremost, ladies, I'm going to tell you this, or men, I'm going to tell you, look at me, and this is, if you don't hear anything I'm saying right now, I need you to hear this. Do not take the responsibility for somebody else sleeping with somebody else. No, you take responsibility in the role that you played in the relationship, but that person had a choice. They could have said no, and they chose not to. Don't you dare take on the responsibility and say, I could have done something different. I made him cheat. No, that was a choice. He had a choice, or she had a choice to say, no, I love so-and-so enough and respect myself enough that I will not do this. Do not ever take on that. Now, take on the responsibility in the relationship that you weren't communicating effectively, that you knew the relationship was going downhill anyway, you didn't let it go, whatever. But do not take on the responsibility of somebody cheating on you. That is not your responsibility. They are grown most of the time, anyway, by age. But just say that. They're grown, and they made the choice. So you got to deal with that when that happens. But that really eats me up. These people are walking around thinking of something, they're inadequate, there's something wrong with them because somebody cheated on him. No, 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 no. No, there, you look at the relationship and look at, because there's always signs, and you find out what you could have done differently so you won't make the same mistake. So that's what I wanted to leave you guys with, because I want you guys to have these talks. You gotta have these conversations. And let me look at my cheat sheet here, because the wind is blowing so I can't really see it. Leave your home. Also have a space that's big enough so you can speak your truth, and that means just having an open heart. That's what the space is. Don't come from right or wrong. Just let it be what it is. That's how that person feels. They said that's what they feel like. Don't make it better than the other. See, when you come from right or wrong, you're making one better than the other. Don't do that. No profanity if you can try. You know, sometimes you got to use a few choice words, but try not to use any profanity, because it does offend people, especially when you're in a hot, argument, because this could get really intense, people, because you're like, I didn't do that. That's why you got to have an open heart just to listen. And that's what that tone and that voice and listening, that's tone, voice, then you're listening. Acknowledge the other. Ask for clarity. If you're not sure what they're saying to you, ask for clarity. And don't take it personally, because it's their truth. It's their truth. And accountability. Just accept your responsibility in the relationship. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Because I want people to have wonderful relationships with themselves and with other people. And the only way we can do that is have communication. Just have communication, because we're all on a unique path in our lives. We're all based on the choices that we've made. There are things that we must go through. So I am honored if anyone listens to the end of this video, and truly blessed for anybody who is in my life that has been supporting me and trying to get me to just, come on, Donnie, I'm pulling you, Donnie, I'm pulling you, Donnie, come on out and share your knowledge and your wisdom with others. And that's why I'm doing this, because I have a lot of wisdom. I have a lot of experience. Like I said, hey Ron, how you doing? So I want you to know that I am truly grateful. I am truly grateful for anyone that is listening. I feel blessed to have the people that are around me and support me. And I did it last time. I pray to God that anybody that needs to listen to this, that you would definitely hear it and it pierce the soul, so you can make change in your life. I am so grateful again, and many blessings to all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.